Hello and welcome to Train Sim TV. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new RETB Signalling pack from Jack Hills as part of On-Track Simulation. So this is available from the On-Track Simulation Ko-fi page, which Jack has just started up recently and only just put live as of yesterday. So Saturday the 6th, this pack went out. It's been shown on the stream a couple of times. First in the back end, the beginning of the year, and recently on the stream on Friday just gone. So the day after the pack actually came out, which is nice to see. Jack put a lot of work into this. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set everything up, how to put yourself into the blocks, and we'll do a little bit of driving. This isn't a scenario that comes with the pack. I just fancied something with a 37 for this, so I've gone with this. And I didn't realise it has a cold start, which is actually quite nice because we can do the cold start, and while it's cold start, we can actually get ourselves into the signalling block, so it gives us a bit of time to actually do that as well. So let's actually get the locomotive started, and then we can go through bits and pieces. So we need to go into I'm about to actually do a cold start. That'd be great, wouldn't it? No, put that on. So right, that's the loco on. Will it do its thing? So in a nutshell, this RETB Signalling Plugin offers a highly accurate simulation of radio electronic token block signalling, which is used on the West Highland Line and the Far North Line of Scotland. All communication between the driver and the signaller is simulated, including entering the system, requesting and returning tokens, and tuning radio frequencies. Due to its complex nature, it is essential that you read the manual before attempting to use the plugin. Now, the plugin is very useful. Not plugin, the manual, so I say the plugin manual is very useful. It'll give that a read. However, if you don't want to read the manual and you want to try and go without the manual, you have hints. So if you look on the actual plugin, on the top right hand side, you can see near the bottom it says hint. So we need to select the route we're on. So first of all, we're going to go and select our route. Now, the West Highland Line is the only one that's actually there. This is the extension, the South Line, and the merge. So all those are all into one West Highland Line. Doesn't feature or support the Calsh line at this moment in time. It might do in the future, but there's no guarantees that Jack's going to do this. Mainly due to the sort of age and nature of the route. Right, so route selected. We need to turn the radio on, and now we are currently in block of Fort William, which is 104 on the frequency. Going to tune that radio in there, and go. So we're going to go and radio the signal now and do a test.
1562, signal of Banavi, over.
Signal of Banavi, 1562. State your message, over.
1562 at Fort William and requesting test token to enter the system, over.
1562, press receive for a test token, over.
So on the left side, you'll see this. The receive token is now actually highlighted. You can click that, and it says in the hints as well. Along the way, it gives you ideas what you need to do.
One 1562, now have a test token, over.
1562, test token confirmed. Press send to return, over.
Now we need to send it. That's now highlighted.
One 1562, now have a blank display, over.
1562, blank display confirmed. Signal of Banavi out.
Right, excellent. So we have now done a test. So that's that part done. So I'm just gonna. So, I'm hoping I can just go into the other cab now and just go from there. Right, so now we need to actually enter the city. Now, I've not actually done it from the yard, but we're in the Fort William block, so what I'm presuming we'll need is to let the block we're going into after Fort William, which we'll be able to get. So, a couple of other things you can see at the bottom as well, like there's tick boxes, which is return token, exchange tokens, occupied block, and train splitting, which you can do as well. We did a train split on, well, we did a train split, but we didn't tick the box, but basically, one of the scenarios in the pack comes with the train splitting feature in the actual, where the service is actually split up at Crane Lamech. So you tick the box and it will basically tell the signal that part of the train split off, so they know. So in this instance, we're not doing that. So anyway, let's continue.
1562, signal of the Navy, over.
Signal of the Navy, 1562. State your message, over.
1562, this is the driver at Fort William. Request to enter RETB system, over.
1562, driver at Fort William. Press send to enter RETB system.
So we need to send.
Radio number entered RETB system at Fort William, confirmed. Signal of the Navy out.
We need to select the block we now want to obtain. So we're going to keep in the Fort William block, because we are within Fort William's area, so we're going to stay in this section for now. So again, we're going to radio the signal now and obtain this block, so we can basically operate around this section.
1562, signal of the Navy, over.
Signal of the Navy, 1562. State your message, over.
1562 at Fort William. Request a Fort William shunt token, over.
1562 at the DSP at Fort William. Press receive for the Fort William shunt token, over.
Now have the Fort William shunt token, over.
1562, shunt token confirmed. You have permission to shunt within the station limits boards at Fort William, over.
1562 have permission to shunt between the station limit boards at Fort William, over.
1562, message confirmed. Signal of the Navy out.
Now this might be slightly odd or wrong for what I'm doing. It did say station limit, so I might slightly be in the wrong section here, but we're in the Fort William section anyway, so I'm doing shunting at the end of the day, so for this it'll do fine for me for now. Right, so I think everything is that. Now, will it move? That's the question. You know why it won't move? Because I've still got a parking brake on. I always forget that step. I don't do cold starts very often. Move now. There we go. We're going to shunt onto the stock. We're not going to do a full scenario, by the way. We're just going to show obviously we've sort of shown you the setting up and getting into the system. Got a token, we've got a block set up. Now we'll do a shunt. We'll do some driving like up to the next station or so. I'm not sure if it's a long section coming out of here. We'll show you the station limits and stuff like that as well. So this pack is £3.99. The link is in the description. If you wish to have a nosy or purchase it. But it really opens up the gameplay for the West Highland routes. And you're not limited to any specific stock. You can literally, you could load up a 166 and use RETB if you wanted. You just open the plugin, literally, when you open the game and open up the route, and then you can just literally, off you go. You don't have to have a specific loco that has to have RETB if you don't want. It makes it very, very enjoyable. I'm honest with you. Been a long time since I've really used these routes, and using this plugin made me enjoy them quite a bit more than what I normally would. Because it's a lovely part of the world, but sometimes it can feel a bit dull when you're driving for miles and miles and having nothing really to see. But having the plugin and having to do all this, like tuning in and passing signals and tokens over and exchanging and returning, it gives you something to do when you're sat at long stops. It makes it a bit more exciting. Definitely. I'm hoping it'll bring some new scenarios to the route, to be honest. Well, from community members. Might give the routes a boost. Right, so whilst we're just shunting it, I'm just going to give you a bit of a brief introduction on what RETB is really. So, it was first installed in 1984 on the far north line. The radio electronic token block system was born out of the need to reduce the renewal and operating costs of working lightly trafficked long single lines found in Scotland, Wales and East Anglia. Following RETB's success with the FNL, the radio system was implemented to the West Highland line in late 1987. RETB was introduced on the West Highland line in 3 phases and is controlled by 2 signaller workstations in Benavi Signal Box, which also controls the Caledonian Swing Bridge over the canal is. The West Highland RETB operation started firstly on the Mallaig section on the 7th of December in 1987, which was Helensburgh Upper to Crianlarich, Oban, which converted on the 27th of March 1988, and finally Crianlarich to Fort William on May 28th, 1988. The South Workstation controls Helensburgh Upper, Crianlarich and Oban. The North Workstation controls Upper Tyndrum, Fort William Junction and Mallaig. Later, RETB was commissioned on the East Suffolk line and the Cambrian line. However, these have now been upgraded to Track Circuit Block and ERTMS respectively. The Thomson Interactive West Highland Line extension route, including RETB signalling, but this was operational for use on their Class 37-4. This plugin aims to bring RETB signalling to any train, allowing you to drive the West Highland Line, all versions. However, authentic communication between the driver and signaller. Key features are tuning the radio to correct frequencies as you drive along the route, carrying out test calls with the signaller before entering RETB system, requesting tokens, including normal, long, occupied and shunt tokens, returning and exchanging the tokens, and radioing the signaller when you're clear of station limits. Please note that the plugin only supports West Highland Line routes, which is all versions. Due to its age, the Calsh line is not supported currently in this release. Installation, really easy. Comes in a zip folder, extract it, run the exe called RETB Signalling Plugin, and follow the steps in installer. And just as a side note, if you have the Class 66 Enhanced Pack 2.0, there is an option in that installer to install either the standard 66 EP, the old one, or the new one that's just come out. So it depends on which one you want to see. So ideally, if you've got the new one, you're going to want to see the new one, of course. But it's nice that the option's there. In the manual, there's a big massive section about the interface and stuff, and it tells you all about that, so give that a read. I'm not going to go through that in the manual because me reading that out is pretty dull, but do give it a read and study it. It explains everything to you. Scenario requirements comes with 4 scenarios. All the requirements are listed in there and recommended, and we are running it on this scenario at the minute. is the AP Sky Accurate Time of Day plugin that Jack made, which is a free mod. It's linked in the manual as well. Just gives you the true sort of lighting for the area. Not that it really makes much difference in this time of day, but night time you get extra 2 hours depending on when the sun sets, like winter and stuff like that. Just some thanks to go out to Ian McKay, allowing so these people are granting permission, obviously the PAT and their PATs respectively. So Ian McKay for the West Highline Full, Totem Interactive for the West Highline Extension, Milepost Simulation for West Highland Line South, Precision Locomotive Developments for the Block 5, Watson Deng for the 73/9, and Max Mortimer for the Mark 5 sleeper coaches. So those have all allowed the PAT to be used in the payware because they have their own EULAs. Most instances people do allow this sort of thing, but it's common courtesy and that to ask, of course. Some people don't always allow it, but on this occasion it's all been allowed, so Jack's sure that that's come off and happened. If you do come across any issues, there is a link in the manual to a Google form, so if you come across a problem, report it there and Jack can take a look. He'll investigate it with you. He might request a log file and stuff like that to be sent so we can find out what's happened or what you've done, and you can go from there. Just general credits go to, it's Jack Hells for the concept, design, implementation and manual. Kenny Mackey is the voice artist who you'll hear on the actual application, and then you've got On-Track Simulations testing team, and that is it for the manual, so we can close that down. We are due out of here at 9:05 apparently, so we're on time essentially. We're gonna have to return the token when we come to a stop. We can probably do that now, so if we're coming up to the station we can get the call going, so we'll get that done. Okay, so I have to do... Might not be able to do it while I'm moving, hang on, let me just come to a stop. Try again.
1562, standing clear of the single line at Fort William. Request to return the Fort William shunt token. Ground frames are normal. The key is in my possession and all other lines clear and safe. Over.
1562, standing clear of the single line at Fort William. Ground frames are normal. The key is in your possession and all other lines clear and safe. Press send to return the Fort William shunt token. Over.
Right, so press send.
One 1562, now have a blank display. Over.
1562, blank display confirmed. Signal of the navy out.
So we're giving the token back. We're just going to do a couple up and then we'll change ends and we'll get ourselves into the block for our actual service. Eagles are so loud. Right, that is the camp shut down, I think. It is now. Right, so we need to radio the signal first of all. Oh, that's Lock. Sorry. Where we're going? I think it's Lockhill. We need to look on basically it's a Lockhill outward. Is the furthest we can go. We can do long and shorts. So this looks like it'll be a long one. So let's radio through.
1562 at Fort William. Request advance token. Over.
1562 at Fort William. Press receive. Over.
One 1562. Now have the Fort William to Lockhill outward bound. Section token. Over.
1562. Section token confirmed. Obey all line sign signals and proceed to the DSB at Lockhill outward bound. Over.
1562. Obey all line side signals and proceed to the DSB at Lockhill outward bound. Over.
1562. Message confirmed. Signal of the navy out.
That's us now in section from Fort William to Lockhill outward bound. So what we're looking for is on the hints, it says radial signal when you pass the station limits board to inform them. So what you're looking for is a little sign which got like it's white and blue sort of diagonal, sort of horizontal, sort of upwards diagonal sign. Usually located a few hundred meters away from the station, so we'll look for that and then we'll give him a call just to let them know that we've passed that. In this example, it might be once we sort of get around the curve. I can't be too sure.
Signal of the navy 1562. Confirmed you have passed the download clear marker board at Fort William. Out.
So those are the signs that we've just been sat next to there. So when your train's passing out, you just give them a call just to let them know. And that's all there is to it really until now we get to our next lock end. Just basically back to your normal driving. It just gives you quite a lot more to do when you actually are setting up your train and that. Originally this is the route that was RETB actually simulated in the Class 37-4 that came with Thompson on the route, but now you can actually use it on the plugin with any loco. You're not bound to that locomotive. So for £3.99 you get a lot of extra enjoyment out of a route, or a couple of routes actually, the West Highland line. All scenarios as well. Definitely value. There's 1, 2, 3 156 runs, and then those are all several parts, and then one of them's a steam tour with the Block 5. Approaching Banavi. Waiting for the swing bridge to shut. There we go. How far Lockhill is? No, it's only 4 miles. What we'll do, we'll drive up to Lockhill, we'll do a new block, and then I'll probably do us for the video, to be honest. Gives you a flavour of what to expect. It's nice to revisit routes that we don't play very often as well. I used to love this route when it came out. I can't believe how long ago it was as well. It was a fair few years ago now. I think for the most part it's aged pretty well. I'm sure Jack will be open to feedback and stuff like that as well, and anything can be done better or anything like that, or if anything might have been missing. I think he's done a pretty good job at researching it, to be honest. He's scoured documents and all sorts. Obviously got the recordings done, professionally done by Scottish voice actor. I think it sounds pretty decent, to be honest. Very good quality. But if there's any feedback, then I'm sure Jack's open to it. Patch and then Lochiel. Patch ain't that far away. Quite close from these stations at the beginning of the route. Patch is Patch where the yeah, it's near here. The pulp factories, pulp mill. And then Lochiel is somewhere there is. You with beans, but then you have to take the beans off because you've got to slow down for, I think it's crossings and stuff around here. Anyway, it takes a few hours to get to where you need to be. Again, if you're excited for this and you want to have a go yourself, it is available. Link down in the description will take you to the page, and it's £3.99. Right, just arriving into Patch. Never too certain on where your stopping position should be on these stations. I think it's where they're red. Usually where the sort of red and white checkered sign is potentially. But then even not, I'm stopping there. Can't sit outside because I'm crossing barriers are so loud. Thankfully, it's only a quick stop. Then we're onwards to Lockheed where we'll do our exchanging of token. I'll show you how you do that. The signal currently is at red. I just locked myself into emergency brake there as well. Absolutely fantastic. Not knowing where my fingers were. I've gone green. I think they're tied in the crossings over there. I think there's a crossing up ahead. I think somewhere around is where the pulp mill is. A little junction that goes to the left. Potentially this would be a nice screenshot there. That's the is it the DS? Is it the DSD board they call them? It just shows the board there as well. I think I saw someone say on the stream actually that we were planning a scenario to go into that place. I might be a nice little one to run at some point. Right, it's just a short burst down to Lockheed, which is about 1.5 miles away. Do the exchange of tokens, change the block, and then sort of do the last little bit of just driving away from the station, and then I'll sort of wrap things up for the video really, because that's sort of the process that you'll go through. You might find in certain areas that you will have to change your radio frequency. So you just basically what you do, you'll find that you might have static on the radio. That's when you might not have changed the radio, and it'll tell you what your valid channels are. So you might find you'll see the minutes 104, but they might say like 105 next to it as well. So then you'll type it in the box here, and then you'll click tune radio after it. And that'll sort that out. Because that's one thing you want to look out for, because if you find that you haven't done it, you'll just get static. That's pretty much a debugging on that one, how to troubleshoot that issue. I can't remember, it might tell you the hint as well, to be honest, that you might have to tune your radio as well, so keep your eye on the hints. The other cool thing is that it's pinned on the game, so at the bottom, because here, you can actually pin it as an overlay, so you don't have to, you won't lose it. If I unpinned it and click the game, it'll go behind the window. So basically you can see it all the time as an overlay, which is nice. It's not too obtrusive though, really, either. It's actually just behind by the pillar on the centre window. It's not obstructing your actual vision out the main window. So you're seeing actually now channels that are valid. So 108's popped in. So what we want to do is actually put 108, tune that radio into there, because we are going into a new frequency. So that's that. It's not slowing down for station. And before we do this next call, we need to exchange the token. So we're changing blocks. So we'll need to see where our next station stops are. Work out if it's a short block or a long block. And we need to ensure that we stop by the board, because it says stop. We don't want to be going over that. The short stop here as well, short station, so we need to make sure we get a coach in. So we'll just crawl it forward and ensure we don't go beyond the DSB. I can't remember if it's DSD or DSB. I'll say it on the radio in a second. Tight this. And that is probably too far, so I'll have to go back a bit. Annoying. Really, I say it's tight, it's not really, because I could have basically centralised that a bit better. Just gone beyond barking. I'll probably do it. There we go. Right, so we need to return, sorry, no, we need to exchange the token. So return is at the end, basically like a terminus. Well, if you're at Fort William. So, or if we're going out a section at maybe Helensburgh, you do returning. Exchange. So we're going to go into the next block. Will be Glenfinnan. So if you look on the F1, you'll see Glenfinnan is there. So that is the next block. So it's a long block again, because we're going through Lockhill side. So that and radio signal.
1562 at Lockhill outward bound. Over.
1562 at Lockhill outward bound. Press and hold send. Over.
1562, now have the Lochiel outward bound to Glenfinnan section token, over.
1562, section token confirmed. You have permission to pass the DSB at Lochiel outward bound and proceed to the DSB at Glenfinnan, over.
1562, have permission to pass the DSB at Lochiel outward bound and proceed to the DSB at Glenfinnan, over.
1562, message confirmed. Signal of the navy out.
The DSB. I presume it stands for Digital Signal Board or something. Well, on them lines. Right, so that is that. We can go again. We'll drive up to the signal board on the outbound, like on the limit. Give that a call, and that'll be us. So at this point, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and it's been a bit different and informative, and it's showing you something rather cool that is available. So again, it is available. It is out now. $3.99 for this plugin mod. Link is in the description. Any feedback or any comments, do drop them in the box below on this video. So Jack will keep an eye on that as well. As I say, the form is in the manual if you want to give me feedback or any issues that you find. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget like, share, subscribe, hit your notification bell for future videos, and catch us at twitch.tv/TrainSimulator on a Monday and Friday. Until next time, folks, thank you very much and goodbye. See you later. Bye for now.
1562, have passed the downward clear marker at Lochiel outward bound, over.
Signal of the navy, 1562. Confirmed you have passed the download clear marker mode at Lochiel outward bound, out.